could not be more stoked to do the first CBO interview with a guy I am honestly just super proud to call a friend now. And what an inspirational and talented person who is literally living the mission of the CBO, of the Caribbean Baseball Organization. I mean, the seventh of all time, seventh player from Colombia to play in the MLB at the ripe age of 17, from humble beginnings all the way to being a Pittsburgh Pirate. Yay! Pro MLB catcher, my buddy, Yamid Haad. Yamid, hi.
Hi, Natalie. How are you? It's nice to see you.
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you. It's great to see you as well. I mean, we've had the pleasure of getting to know each other now, and I could not be, as I just stated, more excited to let everyone get to know you because of your story and the ups and the downs and the twists and the turns, you know, through this great life journey that you've had, and, you know, baseball sort of leading the way. And so let's dive in. Let's just chat. Let's talk right from the beginning. I know that you got introduced to baseball when you were like yay big. You were what, 3 years old, right?
Yes, I was 3 years old when I started throwing the first ball.
Oh my gosh. Well, tell us a little bit about that, because getting to know you, I know that your dad introduced you to the game, and you both had sort of a professional hero that you looked up to during that time. And just kind of tell me a little bit about the early beginnings and your childhood growing up in the world of baseball.
Okay, well, the guy that really introduced me to baseball, it was one of my neighbors. My neighbor was the one that told my dad that I should be start playing baseball in that age. And my dad takes me to the field. So I get into, at that age, it was kind of hard because baseball, it wasn't that big in Colombia back in that time, at that age. Professionally was big. Professionally was big. I don't know if you remember or you heard the Sesame Field there play over there. Glenn Davy, they play in the winter ball over there. So, but not in that age. But it was fun. It was excited because I was young, and at the same time, right away, I love it and I want to do it. So start playing baseball at that age, I think it was the best thing can happen to me because it changed all my life. It changed my personality right away. I feel like when I was in that age, even if you was a young kid and a kid still, I was already getting to a baseball big time.
Yeah.
Because, and my dad was taking me to see a professional baseball game, and I started seeing this guy, his name is Joaquin Gutierrez, seeing this guy playing and see it on TV, and it was a good feeling. It was something that I can explain, and I got one of my neighbors that he was a champion boxing. His name is Rodrigo Rocky Valdez. And my dad was always taught to me about him, how big his heart was. They call him a lion heart.
Mm.
So he passed. We used to be good friends. And my dad always telling me about him, always talk to me about him. Oh, this guy got his heart. You have to play like him. You should be see him when he was boxing, and all those conversations that I had with my dad about Joaquin Gutierrez and Rodrigo Rocky Valdez, that it gave me into to try to be a big guy, one of the big guys from my country. And I remember when, like what we're doing right now, when they was doing it to Rodrigo Rocky Valdez. He was my neighbor. I remember my mom. He would come and make a juice, any kind of juice, and I was the one that served the juice to him in between the interview. You know, I was that little kid that came and said, "Hey, you know, serve his juice." And
you were like the production assistant.
just
Yeah, I love it.
So that and I tell this, I'm telling you this right now. When I tell people that they getting surprised, they were like, "Wow, you really did." I was like, "Yeah, I was that kid." They always talking to him, always asking, and one day I'm gonna show you the tapes that he was
Yes.
saying. He was saying back in that time when I came and served the juice to him. He was came and say, "You're gonna be a big guy like me. You're gonna be somebody in this life." In that time, so that was crazy. That was, and after a lot of years, he retired. I retired, and I always talked to him. I always came and see him. He lived right next to the airport in Cartagena. So I get out of the plane, and I be walking straight to his house, and I still doing it. I still talk to his wife. I still talk to his daughters. His daughter is amazing. We always texting back and forth. You know, I believe she's 23, and we like this. We family. We families.
That's beautiful. I love hearing stories like that. I mean, so he too was somebody that was so inspirational, like a true man with a true big heart, like you said, lion heart. And, you know, that's what I love about the entire mission of the CBO, is because it's about that heart and the humanitarianism that comes from the game and the love of paying it forward and being inspirational and getting people to want to, you know, the power of positive thinking and to be on that path to follow their dreams. And it's very empowering. And I absolutely love that. What a good man. Just a good man. And so let me talk about something then. So you start to get involved in the game, you start playing, right? And then let's talk about an unexpected, the story about the unexpected talent scout that kind of came a knocking literally and found you. And you were so young, you were 14 years old. And tell us about this story of when you finally got noticed for the first time.
I was in a national team, and this guy, his name Daniel Espitia, they call him El Pato. He was the catcher instructor. He was the one the guy was picking the catchers to go to the national team, and he take me out. He take two guys and he take me out of the team. But I was playing with him and his team. So when I heard that I got kicked out of the team, I went to the bathroom and I started crying. And he saw me and he was like, he went like this and my shoulder, and he told me like, "Hey, just remember, they're gonna take a bus. They riding in a bus, and you're gonna be flying. You're gonna be in planes. You're not gonna be in." So now I start thinking about it, and I'm like, how did he knows that? You know, he just take me out of the team. And how did but he tell me that, you still there?
I'm here. You're back.
Okay. So he tell me that, and he told me on Monday, I'm gonna be waiting for you at the stadium at 5:00 in the morning. So I went. We trained hard, like hard. We trained for like 6 months. 6 months later, this guy's name is Pablo Natalie Cruz. Now I think he's working for the Toronto Blue Jays. And Jose Luna. But I was playing that night. I remember it was a Thursday night. and he tell me, hey, I got this. They came to find somebody that worked for the Pirates as a scout.
Yes.
So he tell him, I say, hey, I got this catcher. I think you should see him and see what you guys think. So he tell me, hey, do the best you can. And that's what I did. They were sitting, watching the game with my dad and my mom. And after the game, my mom tell me, hey, on Sunday, somebody's going to come to the house and talk to you. But I remember that we have a party with all my friends. Yeah, like a bullfight party in a different town, the Cartagena, like maybe like 45 minutes away from Cartagena. Everybody was ready. I was ready to go. I was all dressed up and everything. And my dad and my mother, they were telling me, you can go, you have to wait, they're gonna come to see you, they wanna talk to you. And that's when they came and they offered me $5,000. I look at Daniel, the Pato, I look at my dad, and I look at my mom. I was surprised. I was like, I never have $5,000 in my, they're offering you $5,000. And he was like, take it. And he was like, what are you looking at me? Take it. I was like, okay, cool. and after that, I think since that day, I know exactly what I want, even if I know it was going to be hard and I didn't know if I was going to be available to make it. But it was already like a change in my life. It was like, I know what I want since I was a little kid, and this opportunity came. So now I got to work harder than everybody to do it. And that's what I did. And I got blessed. I got blessed.
Yes, you did, my friend, but with a lot of hard work, like you just said. I mean, so what a story. So you've got this scout that comes to your town in Colombia, and he's actually there from the Pirates looking for a scout to hire, not for any players. And he stumbles upon you and offers you what ended up becoming and fueling an entire life and career opportunity. I mean, it's such a great story. And then from there, off you go, right? So you're off, right? And you go to single A, and you were in single A for like a week? And then it was like off to double A, right? I mean, it was like a quick transition.
Yeah, it was. I got jumped to double A. I went to play the first All-Star Future game in 1999 in Boston. I get back, they set me up again, and but I was only in double A for like a week, 2 weeks, and I got called up, and that was when they made the baseball field in Altoona, Pennsylvania. So it was crazy because I was the first player to get called up from that stadium to the big leagues. So it was great, and like I say, I feel like I was a guy that got called up for single A because I was in double A for too long.
Wow. That yeah, you weren't. Well, and we're going to definitely talk about that moment. But something else that's really great to know about you is exactly what I just stated before, which is no fear. I mean, hard work, dedication, and just so much drive and ambition, and no fear. Talk about language barriers for a second. So you get here, now you're in the US, you're just fully submersed in this whole new, surreal, crazy world, right? Completely out of your natural element, and in an English-speaking environment. And what did you do to take the bull by the horns? No party, pun intended.
Well, when I got to the Pirate City, that's how they call in Sarasota, I was in the room. It was 4 players in one room, and they put me with 3 Dominican guys. And for practice the next day, it was a lot of people laughing. All the American guys was laughing. They were talking, and I was like, I gotta know what this guy's saying right away. I can be like this. So I talked to my boss, and I tell him, I said, look, can I ask you for a favor? And he was like, what? He was like, can you move me to that room? Because I'm not gonna be, if I stay there, I'm not gonna be available to speak English right away. And I wanna speak English right away. So can you please put me in a room with 3 American guys? And he got in shock.
Yeah.
I still every time I saw him more years. His last name is Crespo. His son played too. I think he's still with the Padres. I don't know, organization. I don't know. But every time he saw me, he was telling anybody that was right next to him, he was telling that story. He was like, this is the only guy that asked me to move him from his room, because he was with 3 Latin players, to move it with 3 American guys because he wants to learn English right away. And that's what I did. I was in that room with these guys during a spring training, extended sprints, and they called me up to the New York League in Erie, Pennsylvania. So after that year, I wasn't available to speak like I do right now, but I was available to communicating with the players. And then after that, I want to learn how to speak people that they wasn't my friends, because the first thing that they teach you is the bad words. So I don't want to be the guy that be talking all the bad words to all the people. So but it was good. I tried to do the best that I could to understand the language, and in 2 years I was ready to roll. Everywhere that I go, I was already ready to do interviews and all that stuff. So it was good.
I love that. And for anyone who's watching this that doesn't speak, fluent English, what a great way to learn. And sometimes, whether you're in baseball, whether you're in business, I think that it's always just a resounding message is always be able to push yourself beyond your comfort zone, because that is when you will grow.
Yes.
That's where you will grow. And speaking of growth, so you're in AA for like 2 months, and then you get the call of a lifetime, as if this wasn't already life-changing. So a couple weeks, 2 months later, you get a call from a little team with the colors of black and gold, the Pittsburgh Pirates. First off, where were you when you got that call? What was going through your mind? And talk about like your journey to Pittsburgh and the first time you even arrived at the stadium and your first game.
We was in Erie, Pennsylvania. We was in like I tell you, when I got called up the first time to the New York League, my first year, it was in Erie, Pennsylvania. And that was New York League. And then they switched to AA, but it wasn't the Pirates anymore.
Okay.
So I was playing in Erie, Pennsylvania. I remember that day was hot. It was a day game. It was hot. I was almost passing out. I was taking a shower, and the manager came and told me, hey, when you're done taking a shower, I come to my office. I need to speak to you. But when the manager call you and say he needs to talk to you, the last thing it was through my mind, it was that I got called up to the big league. So I turned off the shower, and he was like, no, relax.
Right.
Yeah, relax. Don't worry. It's good. So take your time. So anyway, I get out. I went to the office, and he would tell me like, hey, I got good news for you. I'm like, what? It's like, Jason Kenda just hurt his ankle, and you gotta go with the big team. And I was like, what? Like, yeah, you're going to the big leagues.
Holy cow.
It's a good luck over there. I'm like, okay. I get out of the office, And I went through my locker. I sit down. I remember my friend, he was right next to me, and he was like, hey, what happened? What you did? Why did they call you to the office?
Yeah,
Like,
what did you do? Yeah.
And I was like, hey, I got called up to the big leagues. And he was like, what?
Wow.
No way. I said, man, you deserve it, man. You a good player. You a good person. And I ride that day with the instructor catcher. He was there, and he was like, man, I just asked, I'm going to ride with you. I'm going to take you to Pittsburgh. 4th of July, Independence Day. It can be better than that.
Especially not in my city. Hello. Listen, if there's two things, Yamid, well, we're buddies, so we've talked about this. If there's two things that Pittsburgh does really well, besides being the city of champions, it's fireworks and parades.
Best day of my life.
Oh, my God.
I got called up to the big leagues, Natalie, and it was a lot of people calling me on the phone. They want to speak to me. They
Sure, excited.
Yeah, excited. I speak with a lot of people. I don't know how they find the phone number from that hotel, but they did. And I remember I was talking in the phone, and I was hearing this boom, 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 and I was like, man, what's wrong? I didn't. In that moment, I didn't even. I know it was a 4th of July, and I remember I just went like this, and I was sitting in the bed, and I watched this fireworks for like an hour and a half. Like an hour. I was just sitting in there.
They're still going on.
Oh my God. You know, here in the United States, they do a lot of shows with fireworks. But I know you in Pittsburgh, and I don't think I lied to you. I think that was the best fireworks I ever seen in my life. And especially in that day. And I was in. And you know what is crazy too, Natalie? When I was young, I like to read a lot. I like to read books a lot. And when I was young, I always see the city of Pittsburgh back in that day with all the trains and all the mountains. And another thing that I always like about the Pittsburgh is the logo. Yes. That's I always, and the colors and everything just came perfect to me. The Pittsburgh, the colors that I like, the black and yellow, and the logo, that black hat with the P. You know what the
Yes.
Remember the black?
Mine. I have
you
mine.
Remember the
hang on.
The one they are around, they got the black things around?
Hang on. Is it this one? Hang on. Stand by.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, you ready?
Oh.
Boom.
Whoa.
Boom. First professional game in the MLB. And you're sitting there. What is going on in your mind? Like, the game's about to start. What did you feel?
In the beginning, we hit batting practice, all that stuff. Everybody was talking to me, and hey, you'll be fine. No worries. Don't get nervous or nothing. I was fine. Next thing I know, the national team, the National League, they switch the pitcher and they put the pinch running or the switch catcher, the situations in the National League. So they came and said, hey, you're going to hit for the pitcher. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went, I hit a ground ball to third base. I remember we was playing against the Chicago Cubs, and that was when Sammy Sosa was breaking all the home runs and Mark McGwire. And so after I hit the ground ball, when I sit down in the bench, that's when everything changed. I got so nervous.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I remember this player, Old Martin, he came and said, "Hey, you okay?" Yeah. Okay, okay. I went inside and crying for like, I was crying for like 3, 5 minutes. I don't even know. I came back, and you know, when you cry, your eyes they change. They got big. They got,
Yes.
and everybody was like, "Man, you'll be fine. You'll be fine." They gave me a towel. I was sitting crying, but it's not really. It's that moment. That moment, you gotta live that moment. So because I don't have words to explain it to you, because the more I try to explain it to you, what I was feeling in that moment, I don't think, like I say, I don't think I have words to explain it to you, so you know exactly what I was feeling. It's like a friend of you asking you how much water come out in the Niagara Fall.
Right.
You know, you can't explain it. You'll be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, it's a lot of water. It's this. But
Overwhelmed,
yeah,
overwhelmed with
yeah,
emotion. And
yeah.
I've even told you this. I mean, the world of sports, my world is entertainment, but I can relate to that, you know, well, a lot of our stories and how we connect from humble beginnings. And then when you chase your dreams and you put the work in and you stay positive and you stay driven, and then all of a sudden some of your hard work starts to pay off and you arrive at that moment, and then it hits you,
Yeah.
and you're like, whoa. And it just kind of, it's like a release. Like you said,
Yes.
Niagara Falls. It's like overwhelming
Yeah.
release. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah.
it's so beautiful. And so from there, your career, of course, took all kinds of twists and turns. And you end up, though, 2005 on the San Francisco Giants, playing alongside the legendary Barry Bonds. And I want to talk about that because I want to, well, I guess it's a good segue from talking about entertainment. I want to entertain everybody with some really fun stories, because I know that you've got a couple of good Barry stories. So let's dig right into that. Let's talk about it. There was a little prank that was pulled on you, I do believe, by Mr. Bonds at a restaurant. Tell us about that one first.
Well, I was saying, I was a kind of person, a kind of player that every time that I go a different city, the next day I was there, I will wake up, get in a taxi, and tell the taxi, "Hey, take me to the expensive and best restaurant at the city." So I went, taxi take me over there. I was sitting by myself on the table. 10 minutes later, I see Barry with his training, his personal training, and like 3 more people. We wait, hi, and he went sitting at the table. I stopped, I finished my meal, and I asked the waiter for my check, and he was like, "Here." When I saw him, when I saw the check, I was like, "Man, what is this? No way. It's no way that a meal costs like this, you know." And he came, I called him, "Hey, come here, why my check is like that? What's going on?" And he's like, "No, the guy over there in that table, he said you will pay for him too." So I'm
And this is
like,
a big check. I mean, I mean, huge amount of money. This was
yes,
this bill, like very a
yes,
large sum, a large
yes,
sum. Yes.
yes. And I was like, "Okay, cool. I pay it. I pay it. I wait." I said, "Bye. I see you in the field." And I went back. I remember exactly like it was today. I remember he walking into the clubhouse, and he was looking at me and kind of like laughing at me. And I tell him, he was like, "Hey, thank you for the food." I said, "Hey, no problem. You're welcome." So I tell my friend Armando Benitez. So he was my one of my best friends that I met in baseball. So I was telling, I said, "Look, Armando, look what Barry did to me. He did this," and he was laughing and laughing, wow, 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 laughing and laughing. Next day, next day, as soon as I get into the clubhouse, I saw an envelope, and he was a check from Barry, like the triple of the money they I pay over there. So I was like, hey, you don't have to do this, you know. And he was like, no, no, take it. You know, I was mixing with you. I just, and after that, he was telling me that he was just wants to see my reaction when that happened. It was like, for me, after that, I think it like it was like a text for me, you know,
Yeah.
and see what I was reacting. And another good one that I have for you, Natalie, he will have his own chair with the massage and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I was the guy that always came early to the field. I was there always at 1 o'clock, you know, putting what socks, and another one 10 minutes later, you know, walking around, taking my time. That day, well, he got his own TV. Everybody likes to watch the picture that you facing that day. You know, the game before, how he was
That's right.
throwing. You know, what was, you know, how we do when we're in baseball. So he got his own TV, and the only channel that he watch, I think that I asked you, what is the name of the channel with the bill houses and all that stuff?
It's HGTV. He
Yeah,
watches it.
yeah. All what he watched is that before the game for hours, for hours.
I can't
So
even.
I
I
was
love it.
there. I took my TV on, sitting in there. You know what? I fall asleep. I fall asleep.
Did you have the massagers on too? Is that what
Yeah.
really knocked
That,
you out? Yeah.
yes.
I would
Yes.
have been asleep too.
Yeah. And next thing I feel, it was a big punch in my chest. Boom! I got scared. I was like, man, what the hell? And he was like, man, rookie. He called me a rookie.
Yeah.
He said, rookie, you want me to, he used a word that I don't want to say, but he was like, you want me to send you to single A right now?
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God. I was laughing. I was
Oh.
laughing about that. I got a good story with Barry. Barry, I think it was people, it was scared they talked to him. And I understand the way that he was acting because he's that playing the big leagues too. And when he that plays, it was a lot of racist thing going on. That was in those times when people were sending letters to the colored people, and because they were racist and all that stuff. So he lived those moments. He lived those moments with his dad. He showed me a video talking to his dad when he was telling his dad that he was gonna be the best player on the world when he was like maybe like 7 years old.
Wow.
So I was like, oh wow, I got surprised. I got good time with Barry, and I help the other people that get to meet him like I did. They take advantage of it because he's a great person. He got a nice heart. He got a good heart, and he always tried to help people. And it's good. The other thing that I know about Barry, he was calling me. We was talking at the bench during the game, and he will be telling me, I'm not facing this guy. I'm facing the guy over there in the bullpen. The one is warming up. That's the guy they're going to bring it to me. I was like, how do you know that? I said, yeah. We went into the batting cage. He would tell me to put the machine. If the guy was throwing 94 or 95, he would put the machine in 100 miles an hour. He won't make not even one swing. He was just watching the ball, watching. We come out to the field. He will step up to the plate. Exactly what he told me. They will bring the guy that he was telling me that he was gonna face. He was after the he's for me personally. For me personally, I don't think it's gonna be another hitter like him in baseball. And the smart the way he is, it was It was crazy. It was crazy. I never see a guy that's why he came to be a baseball player like that, because he's a smart. He's a smart player.
Absolutely. I think that's remarkable. And you and I have talked about this too, is that so many other players would look at you and be like, oh my gosh, like you're interacting with him and you're talking to him like when you were a rookie, and he's just very approachable really when you get down to it. And it's, we've talked about all the different people that we've known and that we've been blessed to be around or for you to play with. And it's not so much about what you do, it's about who you are, you know, because we're all just people at the end of the day, but it's about being good in here. And those are the great people to latch on to. And I mean, it certainly sounds like he was that person, you know, with you. And that's absolutely just a tremendous story. And thank you for sharing. And it was good to have some laughs, you know. And I know from there, it's like the career sort of went, you know, here and there and a little bit of everywhere. And you ended up like, you know, of course, you know, going away for a little while and then coming back and getting called again. And so that's what I'm talking about. Just never giving up, letting things, letting the opportunities come to you, and then be at least knowledgeable and fear not to go after those and those dreams and those ambitions, and to keep chasing those dreams. And now, I mean, talk about some full circle moments. You went on this great expedition to the Bahamas with our CEO for the CBO, Mario Signorello, and you guys were on your way to the Bahamas, and all of a sudden you had some team members that weren't able to attend this event. And so instead of bringing American players, you got guys from the Bahamas. And then what I love is that you brought those guys, 3 guys, I believe, right? 3 guys?
Yes.
You got those guys to come and stay with you and all of the other players at the resort, which is unheard of for locals to get to do in the Bahamas, which a lot of people may not know. And so talk about Barry's big heart. You've got one too, my friend. And so tell us this story.
Well, on the way to the Bahamas, I find out that 3 guys, they back up on me the last minute. And they're the ones to do it. It was because a lot of people before, when you're not, before you turn 15 years old to go to the Bahamas, before you don't need a passport. You only need just to your birth certificate. But it changed. It changed. So you need a passport now, no matter how old you are. So there was no time to these people to make a passport to get out there. So I talked to Mario, and Mario find me these 3 kids. So I invited them to stay with us in the hotel. Even if we are a Bahamian citizen, you can now stay in the hotel.
So you bring these guys to the hotel, and the Bahamian citizens, you're not allowed to go to the resort and stay on resort property.
No, so I talked to the manager in the hotel, so I bring these guys over there. They stay with me and all that stuff. They had so much fun. And Mario, I almost made Mario crying, because Mario, he didn't know that we went to play the first game, and Mario, he didn't know that the guy that was staying with me, he didn't know. So when he find out, I remember the look that Mario gave me. Mario was like, I know his feeling. He went all the way through his heart, and he was like, man, that you really did that? I'm like, yes, they staying with me. They're gonna stay 24 hours a day for all the time that I'm here. I'm gonna take care of these guys. And after that, we just, those kids, when we was leaving, they were crying. They were like, man, move over here. We want you to move in here. We want you here. All the family that came.
Yeah.
All the family came and say thank you to me. But it was fun. Bahamas is fun. I had so much fun with Mario, and
That's beautiful.
It was good. It was spinning.
amazing. And what a good heart you do have. And that's what it's all about. And talk about full circle. So coming up here, you know, we've got the World Tournament in December, and now your son is going to be playing in that tournament with the CBO representing Colombia.
Yes,
Wow.
he's excited. He's excited. I'm excited. He's doing really good. He's doing really good. He's 15 years old. He loves baseball, and I'm excited. He's excited. We're looking for be there soon and play in that tournament. Looking for see you over there and meet him personally.
Yes.
And you know, it's
Wait.
gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun. And I'm gonna try to help the kids the more as I can because you know somebody did it to me. And like I said, excited to go over there. My son is excited. And hopefully we got a good tournament. And that's it.
Yamid, I love it. I love how everything has come full circle. I mean, all the way from connecting with Mario, who's the CEO of the CBO, and for your son to be able to play in the upcoming tournament and to represent Colombia, your home country. I'm sure you're so proud. And I thank you so much for doing this with us. Thank you for sharing your stories. It's an absolutely wonderful and inspirational one.
Thank you, Natalie. And it was telling you the truth. I had so much fun telling you my stories, and I know you enjoy it. I enjoy it, and looking forward to see you soon. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Natalie, and I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds great. Yes, I will talk to you and see you soon.